was logging in was just to keep an eye on the screen.
Yeah. All right, so to give you guys a quick preview, quiet. I'm going to show you guys what the end product is going to be. So you're going to have it, you're going to be able to use right click and left click to go up and down. You're going to still be able to do the normal hops.
Left and right click. If you keep on right clicking, you'll keep on doing an up jump. If you keep on left clicking,
you'll keep doing it. Yeah. So it's just when you want to flip which side you want to be on, you click the opposite button. But if you want to just do the regular jump game while you're going, but there's going to come points like you saw there where I jumped over the wall, but the dodge was in my way, so I couldn't actually jump over the wall. So I actually needed to flip up to the top. So that's all going to be in the numbers where you guys have to adjust it. Alright, so you're going to go to your game sheet. And we're going to start out by changing, so you have spawn type right here.
Have them save another copy of their...
So before we do anything, you're going to go and you're going to save your game as a new file, and it's going to be called Gravity Runner. Alright, to start out, so that way you're not editing. Alright, so now it's saved as Gravity Runner. So is everybody there? Everybody saved it, renamed it. Alright, so moving forward, you're going to double click on this global variable right here, spawn type, and you're going to change it to spawn type A. After that, we're going to add in another global variable. That's going to be spawn type B. So you're just gonna right click, add global variable, and then it's gonna be the same thing, just spawn type B. Yeah. If you wanted to, that's how you could do it. I'm just doing it this way for now.
Is there like a difference?
Nope. It shouldn't make a difference. Alright, so now you got your spawn type A, spawn type B. You also have to create another global variable. This one's going to be called Gravity Inverted. Alright, so now you should have spawn type A, spawn type B, and Gravity Inverted in your global variables. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our game layout. Alright? And what you're going to do is you're just going to go to your ground layer, you're going to unlock it, and you're going to select the ground, and you're just going to Control C, Control V, and paste it, and you're just going to place it in a similar position as it is on the bottom, okay? So that way it's kind of even. So that looks all right to me.
Clone it,
Yeah, so you're just going to clone it. But make sure it stays on the ground layer. So mine was on the player layer. So I want to make sure it's on the ground layer. And I'm going to lock the ground layer now. And now you'll see that the text is also hidden. So you're going to probably have to drag that down a little bit. And while we're here, we're going to add in mouse. So you're going to double click on the layout. And you're going to see mouse right here. And and that's it. That's all you gotta do is insert it, and it's already on there. It's just like touch. All right, so going back to the game sheet. When you change spawn type A, it should already change anything that said spawn type to spawn type A. All right, so you see it here. It just changed it automatically to spawn type A. Same here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna move. So this one doesn't have it, so it's okay. We don't need to move it. So moving past that, we're gonna go on to. We're just gonna do an event. So you're gonna do an event. You're just gonna do system every X seconds. And you're gonna put in random 0.75. Comma 2. And you're gonna see that's at the bottom. We're gonna move that up after. We're gonna do the actions first. So when you go to add an action, you're gonna do system, set value. All right, and then you're gonna change it to spawn type B. And then this value is going to be floor bracket random. And then it's going to be 0,2. Just like we did before for when we were doing it for the original spawn type. We're redoing that, but we're going to change the values on some of the numbers on this one. So we got this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag this up so that way it's underneath the other spawn type. So that way everything's in one area. Alright, so now you got your spawn type B underneath. So we're going to essentially do the same thing right here. And we're just going to add it into this right here. So I'm just going to select both of these. Copy them, and then I'm going to paste them, and then I'm going to just drag them in as a sub event. Alright, so now you have these underneath your new event that you just created. So I just selected them, copied them, selected event 6, and pasted them. What's going on? So I selected the original 2 spawn types, so you have spawn type A. So all you got to do is select one, and then do a control, and then click another one, and they both stay highlighted, right? So when you click one, so you click the first one, and then you hold down control when you click the second one, and it's going to select both of them. And then all you do at that point is you just press Control C, and then you select event 6, so they're the new one that we just created with spawn type B, and then you're going to just press Control V, and it's going to paste them there, and then you're just going to drag them in a little bit so that way it's a sub event. Alright, so I'll show you again. So Control Z. Alright, first. Alright, so you have this. So you have your new event that we created right here. I clicked and dragged it below the old spawn right here. Right? So you have this thing is what we're going to essentially create for this one. So all I'm going to do, instead of redoing it step by step and saving some time, I'm just going to hold down Control, click both of these, because this is what I want to make next, because we already have this here, right here, that we just created. And then I'm going to just press Control C once I have them both highlighted, click the new event, and then just press Control V, and it's going to paste them right below it. While they're still highlighted, you're going to click on them and you're going to drag them in. And you're going to see this little arrow right here pop up on the side that's saying that it's going to make it a sub event. And now they're a sub event of this 6. So now it's exactly the same as this. And then the next step is going to be just going through and changing the intervals. So this one's not going to be spawn type A anymore. It's going to be spawn type B. So you just double click on it and you just edit it. So that way now it's spawn type B.
And keep it equal to 0 and 1.
You want to keep it equal to 0 and 1 because that's what we did before. When we made the new event, it's doing random 0, 2. It's selecting one of these two right here to spawn in the game. And then we're going to change these inputs right here once everybody's caught up. Does everybody have the events where they need to be? All right. So once you have that in there, you have your dodge, you have your wall, you're going to double click on these and you're going to change these inputs. So it's always going to be the Y. We're not changing the X. All right, so the Y for the dodge is going to be 60, 200. So it's going to be random 60, 200.
Plus, we're changing the X now, too.
We're not changing the X. This is the Y.
My bad. I didn't see that there were two different things.
All right, so now the Y for the dodge is 60, 200. And then we're going to change the Y for the wall as well. And we're going to change that one to negative 65, comma, negative 20. And what that's going to do is it's going to spawn the walls on the ceiling now too. That's what we're adding in. So A's, you're leaving A alone because A was the original spawn that we had for just the regular infinite runner before we're making a gravity. But now we have to add in more spawning so that way they spawn on top as well as on the bottom. So that's what the B is. Spawn type B is going to be the spawns on the ceiling. That's why the numbers are lower and negative. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
So now you'll see when I run the layout, you'll see that now they're starting to spawn again on the top. All right, so I got wall, dodges, but when I click, I don't rotate up to the top yet, so we have to add that in still. What's going on, Z? For wall, it's negative 65 random, negative 65, negative 20. What's going on, Nikolai? I'll take a look. Yeah, it's fine. So now all you have to do is you just have to change these to B. Right? So you got that there. That's all set up. And then all you have to do now is change these inputs to what I have up there. So this one I believe was 60, 200. And then the wall was negative 5. Alright, so now you're caught up. You should be exactly where we are. Nope, you shouldn't have to.
Go to your game layout. In your player. Oh.
So now you got double dodging. Alright, so you got them. So you might have to play with yours a little bit more because you have the characters in there. So you might have to move, you might have to take away from that value. So everybody's values might be different. You may have to change those up a little bit. But that's getting it to how you like it. I'm just getting you to the point where you can edit it.
Oh my god, Eli. One, the wall's right on top of the wall. That was impossible.
So once we get the gravity in, it will be a little bit easier because that will be a situation where you flip down to the bottom. All right, moving on. So we got our two events. We got our new events in, right? So now you're gonna double click. You're gonna create a new event. Now here you're gonna select mouse, and you're gonna do on click. And this is gonna pop up. For the first one, we're gonna do the right. So on the right click, and then you want the click type to be clicked. And that event will be down here at the bottom. You're gonna add an action to it, and you're gonna select player. And then you're gonna go to set gravity. And this is gonna be a platform action, so you're actually setting the gravity to the platform. And the value for this one is gonna be negative 1500. All right, so now what we're doing is we're making it so when you right click on your mouse, it's gonna make it so your gravity pulls you upwards. And then we're gonna add in one more action underneath this event. And it's gonna be system, set value, and you're gonna select gravity inverted. And you're gonna change the value to 1 because we're inverting the gravity on the right click, so that way it goes to the ceiling. And then the last thing we need to do is add in another event. It's going to be mouse, on click. This time it's going to be left click, and it's going to be clicked again. All right. And then we're going to add in same thing as before, except this time it's going to be the gravity is 1500. So you're going to select the player. You're going to do set gravity. And instead of it being negative 1500, it's going to be regular 1500. And then you're going to do the same thing here. Is you're going to do system, set value. System, set value. You're going to do gravity inverted. And this time it's going to go back to 0. So that way it goes back down to the floor. So now your game should be at the point where you will have both.
Oh my god, I need to pull over. It's a joke. So it's all done.
Yo, I need to do a lot more stuff.
So.
How do I flip a character back like to this correct? It should be able to.
Wait, how do I move? Because every time I keep getting a sub event as a file.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna need a small question. Does I have a picture of my thing? How do I get it so the angle flips?
1 second.
Alright.
Alright, so where are you at now? So you're at this.
Yeah, I'm just trying to bring that up to about 6, but I keep bringing it under a 7.
You know why? Because you were selecting this and not the entire thing. Because when you select just, like, let's just say this, right? All it allows you to do is put it there. It doesn't make it an actual event because you're just grabbing the condition. Okay, you have to grab the entire thing. When you click over here, it highlights everything at once, and that's going to allow you to move it.
Okay.
All right. All right, so yeah, so some of you are going to have characters and you're going to have to figure out how to make them flip. So, you know, that's going to be part of your challenge now is figuring that stuff out. You got to think about the fact that maybe you have to add in another player and then you're going to have to set it so when right button is clicked, it rotates this amount of degrees or something like that. You have to figure that stuff out. those are challenges for this, because with this one, we saved the time of going back and recreating it from scratch and going through all the boring stuff and creating it from everything. So now, on this game, we figured that we'd leave you with the challenge to go through and try to figure some stuff out on your own without us having to show you it, since this game was a little bit shorter.